Hey folks, so you may or may not be aware that I had a salvage, surplus, and thrift store called Scroungers Salvage, Surplus, and Thrift. And Scroungers for short, Scroungers is how I spelled it, because I had another business going called Salvage Craft Recycling, craft with a K. Now, I was basically sourcing materials that were headed to landfill. Now, part of that, like I said, was a thrift shop component, um, and it was relatively, it was a good idea. Let's put it that way. Um, it didn't pan out only because of three things that conspired to bring it down. Bureaucracy being one. I was told that I could operate this particular business in the location that I chose. That turned out not to be the case. The people that I talked to were incorrect in their information that they gave me, the people in the city. And turned out I was also receiving only 25% of my phone calls due to a mechanical issue with some equipment in the Manitoba telephone system. And as a result, I wasn't getting. Oh, and the address didn't exist on the city's computers, even though the building had been there since about 1900. It seemed to have been missed being put into the computers in the 1970s, 1980s, when everything went computerized. So, as a result, I wasn't getting my mail and such. And also, mold started to grow in the basement of the building, black mold. So there was issues there with my health, and as a result, fell behind in rent and just became a bit of a disaster. However, the idea was sound. The idea was working when we were able to open and get people in. The people that did come through loved the place. And basically it was a great idea that, like I said, didn't take off only because of other factors that were pretty much mostly beyond my control. So it was a great idea, wonderful idea that would have worked, and was working, like I said, when we were able to open. So we did things like we sold books at 25 cents a pound. We sold, and where did we get books that we're able to sell them so cheap? I'll explain in a moment. We also sold clothing at $3.25 for a garbage or for a grocery bag full, and $10 for a garbage bag full. So selling a lot cheaper than the typical thrift shop, considering they're selling pieces individually. We also sold household goods for $5 for everything you could jam in a milk crate. So instead of pricing stuff individually, everything was just laid out, and people were able to fill up milk crates full of merchandise. And we sold other things such as foam popcorn for packing, and we sold wrapping materials, packing materials. We sold discount paints at $3 a quart, $10 a gallon, or $8 a gallon. I think it was $8 a gallon at the time. And we had lab supplies. We obtained over $100,000 worth in value of new lab supplies. So we had that sort of stuff that we repurposed. We had fabric that we sold again quite cheaply by the bagful. We also had some architectural salvage, like light fixtures and that sort of stuff. And there was an antique shop component, of course, because I am in the antiques business, so I did have kind of an antique shop in the place that we put stuff in. So, anyway, stuff was sold cheaply, and probably I would say 80% of what we had was stuff that was actually intended for landfill and that we diverted. And we were selling this material. This is clean material. We're not talking really trash. Um, we sourced from industrial uh, businesses and factories and such, and had all kinds of great things that we were getting. We had stuff that was shipped from other cities as well. We had the city of Edmonton shipped us some bumpers that were intended for the closing the doors. They were new bumpers. They didn't work for their particular thing. They didn't want them to go to landfill. They were perfect for adding to doors, for seals. Anyway, they shipped us a couple pallets of these so they wouldn't go to landfill. The same with we got plastic spools that had fiber product on them originally, but they came to us empty, which we rented and sold to movie companies. And we also repurposed to make tables and desks and that sort of thing from. So we ended up with a lot of really cool materials and really cool product. Um, and again, like I said, this was all stuff that we sourced for free. We were going to venture into charging for pickup or charging a portion of what it would cost to landfill these items. So we'd still be getting income from that end as well, from the material that we'd end up selling to cover processing and that sort of thing, because there is some sorting and that sort of thing that we had to do. Now, anyway, this idea, like I said, was working. Another company, or another group rather, ran with the same or a very similar idea, but ended up going with a different. They went non-profit, whereas I was going for profit, because there's some things involved to get this material that, being a for-profit company compared to a non-profit, gave you access to better materials. And yeah, anyway, there's a lot to explain. There's a lot of things and tips and ideas and education needed behind all this to make this particular business work and to source your materials. So the thing that I want to discuss, like the books, for example, I'll just use that as a example. We sourced a lot from things like garage sale leftovers or estate sale leftovers or estates, people cleaning out homes or businesses and that sort of thing that wanted to dispose of materials. But the bulk of our books came from these book sales. After the sales, these charity book sales, a lot of, or 99% of the books that were left over, and there's still some great material and some significant books that are worth some money. They weren't picked over per se. There was book dealers gone through and such, but they're priced at a level that the book dealers wouldn't necessarily buy them. But we ended up with them for free because they were headed to landfill. Thousands of books. So those same book dealers would come to our store and buy them at 25 cents a pound. So they got books they could sell for $3 to $10 or whatever. Instead of buying them at $1 a piece from a house call or whatever other situation, they would buy them from us at 25 cents a piece. Or not 25 cents a piece, 25 cents a pound. So their profit would be a lot higher. We got rid of huge quantity of books, and we got them for nothing. So we're still making money all the way around. Now, or maybe it was 50 cents a pound, 25 or anyway, it was cheap. Let's put it that way. Um, so, like I said, we sourced the material for nothing. It was our time and efforts that were the cost. And there's a horde of materials out there and product out there that is available for free that hits landfill on a daily basis. You just have to know how to access it. And material that people want to keep out of landfill, but there is no system or no takers for this material that fit their requirements. Like I said, we had to be a for-profit business rather than a non-profit because there's some issues as for the people involved in it, and insurance and being on time and having a schedule to keep, where the non-profits don't seem to mesh well with other businesses. So anyway, the thing I want to discuss is whether, or ask you, whether you would be interested in a channel that would teach you how to create that business, or get aspects of that business to incorporate in your business, of reselling industrial materials, obtaining free merchandise, and how to do it. Now, I know how to do it. I've done it, been there, done that. The only reason I didn't try this idea again was I moved. I moved to a rural area, whereas this idea works best in a city. It would work in a rural area as well under certain conditions. It could work well on a major route, for example, in Canada along the Trans-Canada Highway or some other high traffic highway. It could work well as well. That you need high traffic for your success, or just a large number of people around you, or access to the public. So anyway, I'm thinking and have thought in the last 6 years while on YouTube whether I should do this channel or not. Or I thought about incorporating it into the antiques end and charge for the being a member of that particular group to access all this information. But now I'm at the point where I know I'm not going to start this business again, or it's highly unlikely I will. So I'm willing to give out the information for free on YouTube and hopefully monetize the channel. That's where the income would come from. So if I could monetize that channel, then I could give away the information for free and still profit from that idea. I don't want to put in a ton of effort and find out that I can't monetize it, or it's not progressing towards monetization. The Antiques channel, I'm not monetized yet. I've been on YouTube over 6 years. It's not monetized. Algorithm properly, for whatever reason. It seems the Antiques channels don't get a very high rate of return money-wise from monetization. The YouTube doesn't value the antiques community as much as they should. So the amount of money you're getting is very small. I just viewed another channel. I think it's called Antiques Central, or something to that effect. That is a teaching channel about the business, based out of Britain. Let me check just to see which channel it is. Hang on. Yes, it's called Antiques Central, which I would encourage you to go check out if you want to learn about the antiques business Like I said, it is based in the UK, so a lot of the factors are different than if you are based here in Canada or the US. But still an educational channel, some good tips and such available. Anyway, yeah. So now this idea, should I or should I not start this channel? Is it going to be a waste of time? Am I going to be using my time incorrectly when I should be concentrating more on the antiques business? Should I be doing some videos on giving away all this information for free, which I already do? I already give a lot of information away for free on the channel here about the antiques business, and I'm not benefiting financially at all. There's some promotion for the business, of course. I don't know how much business I get really from the YouTube channel. I know there are some of you that are customers, which thank you again for buying. And those of you that are steady viewers, thank you again. I do appreciate the fact that you're here. But on the other end of things, I'm not experiencing a lot of benefit from the channel compared to the efforts that go into the behind the scenes. What the algorithm just doesn't seem to like my channel, I suppose, for whatever reason. It's not polished enough. It's not fancy enough. It's too raw, maybe. I don't know. It's not fancy. Not entertaining enough. Maybe it's too boring for some people. Too real, maybe. Because I do keep it real, I don't eliminate the boring aspects, I guess, of the business. Because the fact of the matter is, there are some boring aspects, and you're going to have to deal with the boring aspects of the business. It's not all fun and games all the time. It's not all, you don't find and score all the time. You just don't. I know a lot of the garage sale channels garage sale YouTubers and thrift shop YouTubers show just the good finds and the interesting bits. They cut out 80% of what video they filmed because it's not entertaining enough for people, or it leaves leaves that not a bad taste in people's mouths, but it doesn't seem interesting enough to keep the eyes on things, or it's too real, maybe, and people have a short attention span. So those of you that are with me still right now, thank you for hanging in there. But anyway, I digress, I guess. Now, should I or should... Oh, sorry, I had a coughing fit there. Yeah. So, should I or should I not create this new channel? Is it something you'd be interested in? So I'd like a comment below as to whether you'd be interested, and yeah, leave me a comment below and let me know what your thoughts are, whether you'd be interested, or even in just watching the channel. You don't have to be creating a business from it, but whether you'd be interested in seeing and experiencing or listening to some of these ideas and such that I utilized successfully. Like I said, the idea did work well and has traction, has legs, and it's a model that I think a lot of these thrift shops should look into, really, because they're getting to the point where some of their business models are unsustainable. The prices are going up. They're going past retail pricing of used goods, past the retail new pricing, and pricing used goods beyond people's reach. And it's also a good charitable aspect as well. It did benefit the community, the area I was operating in, which was a lower level income area, and was appreciated in that area. And it was appreciated by others as well who traveled to come to the store. So anyway, yeah, I don't know if it's going to be worth it or not. I have no idea. I just don't know whether I should dedicate the time to it. I may have a employee at some point in the next several months, maybe come spring, maybe sometime the winter, who will be handling a lot of the online aspects of the business and promoting the business. So there's a possibility I'm going to have some more time on my hands where I could do more of these talking videos and presenting ideas like this Salvage surface thrift operation that I had going. So yeah. Anyway, what do you think? Should I do it?